This game is between Mikhail Tal and Padevsky, and it's from the Alaki Memorial in 1963. Tal's playing white and he opens e4. We have a French defence after d4, d5, knight to c3, bishop to b4, e5. This is the Winower variation. Now we see b6, which is a slightly rarer continuation. More normal is c7 to c5, or just bringing the knight to e7. Tal plays queen to g4, hitting this weak pawn on g7, and Padevsky drops his bishop back to defend. Then we get bishop to g5, attacking the queen, and the queen moves to d7. I'll just show you what happens if something else would be played. If we played knight to e7, bishop captures, and if a bishop on f8 was to take, then we take on g7 again, and if a queen takes, we get knight takes d5, the c6 pawn's pinned, so if it's pawn takes knight, queen takes bishop, check. So it's a nice way to win a pawn. Also, if we had f6 played, we just capture that pawn, and if a knight takes, capture the knight. Again, if a queen takes, we capture this pawn, and if we have g takes f6, queen to h5, and black can no longer castle. So we see bishop g5, queen d7, development of the knights, a3 to stop bishop b4 again, fianchetto over bishop, bishop to d3, and then Padevsky plays h6. And the idea is he just wants to castle queenside, and his bishop stopping him from doing that. So h6, and the bishops drop back to d2. Now Padevsky castles. We see h4 and the knight to e7. Tal castles queenside as well, and then Padevsky plays f5. Now we can't allow that pawn to stay on f5 because otherwise it's really cramping white's position. So Tal takes en passant. A little bit of French for you there. And then he recaptures g takes f6. Now Tal plays rook to e1. And the e6 pawn is attacked now. And Tal comments in his book that he moves the rook on the d file to e1 because he's going to use the h file and the rook on h1 for support for some of his pieces later in the game, which is what we see. So rook to g8 is now in play by Padevsky. So the queen moves, g2's on pre. That's what we'll get. We'll get queen takes e6 and rook takes g2. And the queen comes back to e3. Now interestingly, Tal describes this position as strategically lost already for black, and the major weakness is this diagonal h3 to c8. So he's planning on bringing a bishop to f1 and then to this diagonal, which would pin a queen against a king, although of course it's got f5 in the meantime. Although black decides to get off that diagonal as quickly as he can anyway. So king to b8, bishop to f1, and a rook goes back, and then bishop to h3. And here, to block the attack, Padevsky plays f5, and Tal shows what would have happened if he'd played knight to f5. Would have had queen to d3. Now of course the knight's pinned by the bishop, can't move because otherwise the queen would be taken. It's attacked again now, and so if we have a bishop coming back to defend it another time, then we have this nice move h5, just making space for knight to h4, attacking the knight again. And we'd have queen to h7, knight to h4, and then this knight taking on d4. So the knight's protected again, but then we just challenge one of the protectors, knight to e2, and after recapturing this knight's going to fall. So f5 it is, and we have queen to d3, and this is when Tal starts going after Padevsky's king. The main idea of this, or the main purpose, is to allow this bishop room to move to the f4 square, which we'll see in a moment. So bishop to c8, and Tal here plays h5. Now the point of h5 is just to completely restrict black's play, so we're just taking away the g6 square from the knight. The bishop was played here to help defend this pawn so that the knight could move, and Tal just takes away that possibility. Now this pawn becomes weak, and black goes after it straight away with queen to e8, but Tal was not really concerned about this and played bishop to f4, and black took an h5. Now see knight to b5 attacking c7, threatening to win c7, so we see rook d7 defending it, and then queen c3, the idea being knight to e5. So if knights were exchanged on e5, the bishop would recapture and this pawn be attacked 3 times again. Now bishop to b7 was played here, and there's an interesting line that Tal shows. If bishop went to a6, we could have knight to e5, and when a knight recaptured, the immediate knight takes c7, and then if a rook captures, bishop takes e5, threatening to win this rook. The only way to stop it being taken, as it can't be defended another time, is to put this bishop in a way, and we just attack the bishop, take the pinned rook, and capture this bishop. And it's bishop b7 that we see, and we have the knight to e5, and the knight captures e5, and we're probably expecting to take back with the bishop, but Tal plays pawn takes knight, and the idea is just to play e6, attacking a rook and opening up this diagonal again. So how do you defend against this? Well, Padevsky comes up with the best move, the best try, d4, attacking the queen, and you'll also notice that it's opening up this diagonal, so this bishop is now attacking the rook on h1. And so how is Tal going to meet all these threats? You might want to pause the video and have a look at the position and see if you can find the move that Tal played. Okay, we'll show you the move. Here it comes. Tal played e6, a superb move, totally ignoring the attack on his queen. He continues with his plan anyway, attacks a rook on d7 and opens up this diagonal again, so this pawn's now being attacked 3 times. So Padevsky's only really got one option, and that is to take the queen. There's a great line from Tal here in his book, and he says the pawn on d7 will be more important than the spectator on h5, and we'll see that. So pawn takes queen, pawn takes rook, and then now we've got the threat of pawn to d8 and a queening. So the only thing that can be done about that is bishop to g7, allowing a rook on g8 to defend the promotion square. And then now Tal played knight takes c7, and in this position Padevsky resigned. So an incredible ending position. Black has got a queen for a rook and he's resigned. The threat is just knight to e8, discovering the check, and then this knight on e8 will block this rook's view and allow this pawn to promote. I'll just show you one continuation. If we had bishop takes rook, we'd have knight e8 check, king to b7 forced, d8 to queen, and then we could have queen takes knight, rook takes a knight there, and then it's black who'd have to give a queen up for the rook, because if we had, say, king a6, a bishop comes back, f1 check, and we see checkmate very soon. For instance, king a5, rook e7 is checkmate. Great game by Tal, hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.